Back, Bravehearts. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolfe. This is DocStar TV. And the one a day today is this: slaves to surgery. You know, it's absolutely amazing that people back before the 1900s, they only had surgery when they had a tumor, which hardly anybody even had a tumor. Hardly anybody had a tumor. When somebody had a tumor, they would call somebody, you know, doctors from 100 miles away. Said 100 miles away, they would call doctors because you're never going to see this tumor again. But that's not what we're talking about today. The reality is that people only had surgery when they had accidents. Okay? Surgery was not done or performed very much. You have to understand something. As you are aware of, if you are awake, and only about 5% of the population is actually awake, and that's not me picking on the other 95, it's just an actual fact. But the reality is here is this, is that 95%, same amount of people that are asleep, 95% of all surgeries are needlessly done. They don't have to be done. The whole world, okay, wants the quick fix. The whole world, not the whole world, but the majority of the world, okay, will go to the chop shop. The majority of the world will go, just get this pain, get rid of this pain. Get rid of my stiffness. Okay, I can't take the pain anymore. And the reality is, all your medical doctors, almost all of them, okay, they're unconscious of the fact that pain is a GPS. Okay, that pain is actually what keeps you into alignment. Pain is actually your friend. But it becomes a frenemy when you make it an enemy. When you don't understand that pain is a GPS telling you you're out of alignment with yourself and you don't know how to take care of yourself. Isn't that something? You know how to take care of your car in most cases. You know how to take care of your house. But you don't know how to take care of your body, the most important vehicle ever. And you know what? You've been programmed that if you have pain, inflammation, what do? You take a drug. You take a drug, that shuts it down. And then that breaks the gut-brain connection, which is your large intestine to your brain, because your large intestine speaks 9 times to your brain, where your brain only speaks 1 time for every 9 times that the large intestine speaks. So who is the real brain here? Because the brain is actually just a computer that stores prominent dominant beliefs, 90% of it, and understand something. Your gut feeling is probably the most important thing that you'll ever have, and that is your instinct. That's your innate ability to feel your way through life and know what's right and wrong and what's logical. And understand 95 to 98% of all surgery that's done is actually being performed by the same people that gave you the drugs, that shut down your pain and your inflammation. And while that fire was raging on in your body, that inflammation, it was creating dehydration and mutation. Oh yeah, mutation. Oh yeah. You wouldn't have had to have that tumor or that fibroid cut out if you didn't create the scar tissue. And you wouldn't have created the scar tissue if you didn't create the inflammation. And the inflammation was created by the infection, by, you know what? Infectious beliefs, sick beliefs. Those sick beliefs, and it's not your fault, you're not sick. But guess what? The whole world's been programmed. You want to know something right now? Okay, who just passed on? Jacob Rothschild? Jacob Rothschild is not a good man. If I told you who Jacob Rothschild was, this would not stay up on Facebook. I'd be taken down on YouTube. I'd be taken down everywhere. You need to do your research. Between the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, okay, they farm us just like cattle. They use us just like cattle. Oh, you know, every morning we get up, okay, just like the oxen, and we put the harness on, and we go out to plow the field. You're either an ox or you're a lion. And how many lions are there? 2% of the population, okay? And that's who I'm trying to wake up. I'm trying to wake up the lions. I'm not trying to wake up the other part of the population because it's not time. It's not time. You can't wake somebody up until it's time. It's not because they're stupid. It's not because they're dumb. It's because they're programmed and they haven't suffered enough. They're not down on their knees begging God, please. But what we're going to talk about here today is this. We're going to talk about surgery. We're going to talk about whether it's knee surgery, whether it's the ankle, whether it's the wrist, whether it's the elbow, the shoulder, okay, whether it's a hiatal hernia, inguinal hernia, whether it's an ovarian cyst. It doesn't really matter. All of this is so dysfunctional. I will never have any type of problem, no problems. I'll have no diseases. I don't believe in the belief of diseases. I don't believe in the belief of surgery. The only time that would happen is if I had fallen down the stairs. But believe it or not, I won't get into it today, but people don't fall down the stairs. They unconsciously throw themselves down. Because anybody who lives in the present moment can own it, can own the stairs, can own not tripping, can own not falling, could own it that they're not going to eat foods that will dumb them down, take drugs that will dumb them down, alcohol, toking, smoking, because they're so out of it, they trip. You know, we take so many things as normal, and it's all abnormal. The whole thing is abnormal. I will not participate in anything the majority does, except to tell you that I have unconditional love for everyone, and I mean that. I am no better, but I will observe and go, that's not for me, and I would never, ever take those belief systems on because you're selling your body off by the pound. So let me just play something for you. I'm going to play an audio, and this is the leading surgeon, back surgeon in New York. This is a client of mine, patient. She's not a patient anymore, she's a client because she's not sick. And she also has learned to become her own practitioner. She did not go for the low back surgery. And she had to wait a year to get in just for a conversation with this guy. And she only got in there because of who she knows. Isn't that something? You know, I'm going to go see my specialist. Oh, you go ahead and you see your specialist. Whether it's a nose doctor, ear doctor, okay? Whether it's a penis doctor, okay? Whether it's a vaginal doctor. You know, they're always just seem to be working on just one part of the body. And whether you believe this or not, it's called whole body healing. You do know that, right? You do know it's called whole body healing. I mean, if you went to a medical doctor today and you went from your GP, you go to your specialist only practices in one part of you. Really? Really, one part. That has got to be the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard in my life. So anyway, she went to the top specialist, surgeon, for low back. Let's listen to what she has to say, and then I'll do a bit of a commentary. All right? Are you with me? Listen. I don't know how to do this. It's a fine line, isn't it? You think you're better, Daryl? No, I don't. You trying to put them down, Daryl? No. Because guess what? I just told you that 2% of healthcare should be with the medical care, and maybe about maybe 0.1, okay? 0.1 should be surgery, because we shouldn't need surgery unless we're getting into accidents. Because if you actually knew how to do a perfect diet and you knew how to love yourself unconditionally and care for yourself unconditionally from the moment you rise until you close your eyes, surprise, surprise, we are amazing. We are self-healing machines. Are you ready? Okay, let's take this one step at a time, will we? And understand something. I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to tell you what really happens.
Okay, we're ready. Okay, so what is my back condition today?
You have severe stenosis between L4 and L5.
Okay, so she has severe stenosis. You know what that means? That means that you can see no circulation between L4 and L5. Right here. Right here. Does anybody else know what's right here? Well, here is your cecum. Right in here, sits right in the pelvic girdle. Then you've got your ascending colon, your transverse colon, your descending colon, your sigmoid, your rectum, your anus. Oh, and by the way, What is the fastest growing cancer right now? Is colon and rectal cancer. And who's getting hit the hardest? Men. Okay, I've got 3 men right now that we're working with stage 4 rectal cancer. Okay, all right now, and and prostate problems. Well, prostate problems have gone up 40% in the last 5 years. They said that it will go up 400% in the next 5 years, and that's why, because everything's accumulative. Just like they're saying, a 12-year-old will not outlive their parents now, because guess what? You think you ate bad? You should see what parents are feeding their children now. And they actually have to, they'll state this, but will anybody wake up to the fact that they're not feeding their kids right? No, because most people are walking zombies, okay? All right? That's why the movie's so popular, The Walking Dead, because a lot of people are zoned out, okay, because they have shut their front lobe down, because your front lobe shuts down with flour products, sugar products, alcohol, anything that tries to stimulate a dopamine response in you, because you're always looking for joy. And meanwhile, you need to become your joy. And it's called self-love, self-care, right? Anyways, so she's got stenosis, which means basically the scar tissue has choked off this whole area and she hasn't got circulation in here anymore. That scar tissue, when it impinges this area, it involves what we call the SI joints. And the SI joints are on either side of the spine. And they get wrapped with scar tissue and they get calcified. And the sciatic nerve comes out here and comes right past the SI joint and then goes into the hip and down the leg. And guess what? Whether you want to believe this or not, we'll give you a money-back guarantee that if you have a sciatic problem or you have dropped foot or that you have a hip problem, I don't care if you went to the chiropractor 100 times, if you went to massage therapy, acupuncture, physiotherapy, you go to us one time and we're going to rock your world. We're going to do more in that one treatment. And I can tell you, if you go and read or watch the masterclass, Reverse the Irreversible, you're going to understand why. Because Wolf Non-Surgical is the most powerful body work. We give you a money-back guarantee on it. Now, she's got stenosis, and just know this, and I'm not talking about 99 out of 100. Let's talk about maybe 499 out of 500 people if they get told they have stenosis, and now they're bone on bone, okay? And you're never bone on bone. What actually happens is, you see the discs that are in between here, they're cartilage tissue, right? And what happens is they become dehydrated. They become like beef jerky. So you still have the same amount of fiber, but it becomes dehydrated, and they say you're bone on bone. You give me a person that has a slip disc, which there is no such thing, and most of the slip disc problem is in L3, L4, L5. Did you get that? Stenosis mainly happens in L3, L4, L5. What is the main surgery done? L3, L4, L5. And the reason why is because the large intestine, which is the holy grail, 85% of your immune system, and I keep telling people, if you were to get daily cleansing tea caps, and black gold, we just got rid of 85 to 95% of all your symptoms. Now you've lost weight, you've lost infection, you've lost inflammation, you don't have the swelling anymore, you can sleep better, you don't feel uncomfortable, you're digesting your foods better. How am I doing? How am I doing? Because you're not pooing. Oh, you might be pooing, but not good enough. If you go into my library and watch How to Become Number One at the Art of Number Two, then you'll know what a real poo is. And you just know what pooing is because you only pooed with yourself. And the reality is you poo like the rest of the people in the family because you all eat the same, which is not great. But if I ask anybody, they'll all tell me they have a great diet. Compared to who? The person that's offing themselves? Seriously? Okay. So let's move on. So remember something, this is called the pelvic girdle. The pelvic girdle fills itself up with toxins from the large intestine, which we talked about yesterday. Because of antibiotics, you've got a leaky gut, which is like a screen door in a submarine, and you turn the yeast into fungus. You drilled holes through your large intestine. Now you're pooping in not just your pelvis, but into your bloodstream and into your vagina and all around your prostate, your bladder, your ovaries, your uterus. How am I doing? To the point that a lot of people are bone on bone, but they're not. They've just calcified, pulling the bone out, and so the cartilage is still there, but it's calcified. Now they tell you you're bone on bone, they want to replace your hip, and I'm telling you that even if you're booked for surgery, I will work on you and give you a money-back guarantee if you really don't want that surgery. Oh yeah, and you go ahead and get that surgery. And guess what? Maybe you won't have pain in here because you won't have pain anymore because it's just one big block of scar tissue and calcium, because surgery causes more scar tissue and more calcification than anything else. But now you're stiff, but now you don't feel anything. Isn't that great? I guarantee you the other hip's going to go, or the knees are going to go, because you don't have that range of motion in here. And guess what? Don't give me this irreversible thing, because we reverse the irreversible every day. Now, don't come to me then. I'm in Zihuatanejo, Mexico. This is where the Ixtapa Zihuatanejo Healing Retreat is, and we have people coming here and staying at our beautiful retreat. Or they come from all over Mexico. They even come from South America. They come from all over the world. I've got people coming from Japan in the next couple of months. I've got a family coming from Australia. I've got a family coming from United States, because they're coming to learn how to become their own practitioners. They're going to learn Wolf Non-Surgical. They're going to learn about what a real perfect day diet is. They're going to learn that with every symptom they have, it's an emotional response to some block. And that emotional block actually becomes a physical block of calcification, scar tissue formation, and crystallization somewhere in the body, depending on the belief systems. And this here, guess what this one would be? Okay? All right, what's this one? The main thing. Okay? You can't let go. So when you can't let go, you're ready to blow. Okay? When you can't get go, you're ready to blow. You get infected, inflamed, and the inflammation has to be put out because it's inflamed, it's a fire, with calcium. So it pulls the calcium from your actual hips, from your actual spine, and that gets into your tissues. And then you get the scar tissue in here with the calcification, and we'll call that stenosis. Go watch The Holy Grail, Your Large Intestine. It's a masterclass in my library. And go watch your digestive tract, The Highway of Life, and tell me that I haven't taught you more than the whole time you were in school with science or in your health class. Seriously. Okay? All right? Listen, a medical doctor comes out of school not knowing anything about health. They know where their organs are because they got to go find them to cut them out, right? Or because they got to numb them out, right? But what about cleaning them out, bringing the vibration up, getting rid of the scar tissue? It doesn't matter where it is, whether it's in your brain, okay, all right, that's called a lesion. And if it's in your core, that's called an adhesion. I would really love to have a whole bunch of different practitioners come on, and I don't care. I'll take 2, I'll take 3, I'll take 4, and they can all challenge me on my belief systems. I think it would be really great. I'm up for it. And for the adventure. I'm not up to be challenging people or telling people that I'm better than anyone else, because I'm not. But the reality is my stuff is logical. And guess what? Most natural health practitioners and medical people, they're not even logical. They'll tell you to cleanse when you feel like SHIT. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you want to create a perfect day and never ever feel sick, never get sick? How about getting rid of all beliefs about sickness? Because there is no sickness, there's just symptoms. And there is no symptoms, there's just messages that your body's saying, can you stop poisoning me? And all it's going to do is keep on dinging the doorbell to try to see if it can get into your heart so that you may start loving and caring for yourself and respecting yourself properly. So let's get back to this.
And the nerves, here's the white stripe is the nerves. You can see they run continuously there, and then right here it completely disappears. And that.
The white stripes of the nerves, they run continually here and then they disappear. Those white stripes are scar tissue. You do get that? And calcification. We can get the calcium back in the bones, and we can go in with Wolf Non-Surgical, and if we have, if the practitioner has a cell sonic like we do in Kelowna, British Columbia at our clinic, or down here in Ixtapa, Zihuatanejo, we'll use our cell sonic, and with Wolf Non-Surgical, I will remove 80 to 90% of that on the first treatment. I will prove it to you that if you say you've got stenosis, you've got total back pain, after I do the non-surgical and the cell sonic, you'll be able to bend over. You'll be able to move around like this and go, oh my God, this is a miracle. It is no miracle. All we did was restore what was missing. First of all, we got the calcium back into the bones. It was missing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull, and here, let me show you something. So let's say that your fibers in your body, okay, are like this. You see the gaps between the fibers? There actually is. That's for the lymph flow, the blood flow, the light energy, the nutrition in, and the toxins out. Are you with me? what happens when you get infection? You get inflammation, so you get contraction. So what happens when you have inflammation, you get contraction, those fibers will come together. Now, most times when we have a lot of contraction and inflammation, we're in fight or flight mode. So now we got the adrenaline and the cortisol, because when you're in pain, you're always tapping on your adrenals. So now you've got the cortisol and the adrenaline, which act like super glue, and you're contracting because you're always ready to go. I'm ready to go, okay? Because I'm scared of the toothless tiger, right? So now what we've got is now we're going to get those fibers coming together, and then the actual adrenaline and the cortisol is like super glue, and it's going to glue this stuff together. So now inflame, what does that do? Well, guess what? If I had a burger on the barbecue, even on low, if I walk away and I don't come back soon enough, that thing shrivels up, shrinks up, and shrivels up. What do you think happens to your tendons, ligaments, muscles, and cartilage? You think your cartilage, you've lost it, but you didn't. It's just dehydrated. If I take a muscle from any animal, and then I want to make beef jerky, 1 inch comes down to a 1/4 inch. Yes or no? So guess what you did? You just broiled that part of your body with inflammation. And that's why it's got calcification and scar tissue formation. Because of the dehydration, you've got the scar tissue formation, and the calcification was being pulled from the bones because would you have rather a tumor grow on your spine? Or a tumor in your shoulder, or in your lungs, or in your brain? Why do you think you get calcification or scar tissue formation anywhere? Because of that. And then guess what? If you go past that and it continues, then you get to not just have calcification, scar tissue formation, but what do you get to get? Oh my God, what you get is you get a tumor, because now the tumor is storing the infection and the inflammation, and it's keeping you alive longer until you can get centered back into alignment and harmony of unconditional loving care for yourself. And maybe you never even remember that because it was probably stolen from you as soon as you got here.
Where the issue is. This should run continuously all the way up and down. You have no room for the nerves. Essentially, the nerves, like somebody's coming in and choking them, they're losing their blood supply, and they're...
Okay, he's not lying. But did he tell her that it was the calcification she pulled from the bone from the inflammation, and that the actual thinning of the cartilage was dehydration, and that all the fibers are still there? And with Wolf Non-Surgical, I'll go in between the vertebrae with my elbow, and I'll actually open that up, and with the Cellsonic, I'll put the electrical charge back in. Did he tell her? Did he tell her that the scar tissue is a dehydration inflammation issue, and the reason why it's all hard in this area and there's no flexibility is it's because of the beef jerky and the calcium? So he's right, it is being choked. It's being choked by the calcification and scar tissue formation because you don't understand. And your doctor's not going to tell you. They're not trained in this. So don't be angry at your medical doctor. Don't even be angry at your chiropractor because they don't even talk like this. Don't be angry at your massage therapist or your physiotherapist or your acupuncturist. Do you want me to keep going? Because they don't even talk like this. Did you know I had to learn this on my own? I didn't go to school to learn this part. I learned this part because I always think outside the box. If you were to talk to my staff, they would tell you, yeah, everything he does, he sits down, he gets himself centered, and he strategizes on what is really the issue in the tissue or the situation. And understand something, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, JP Morgan, I don't want to keep going, they're all one big happy family. No, they're not, but they do strategize against 8 billion and hog tie them and make them wear diapers on their face for a long time, don't they? I'm just trying to tell you that they rewrote every book. Rothschild printing, Rockefeller printing, don't believe me, go take a look. Rockefeller Printing looks after all the printing of all the publications of every governmental school in North America. And guess what? It's like you almost get there, you almost learn it, you almost got it, but you never get it. It's just like when you get here in lifetime, when you first get here, you know what? Ever since I was born, I know that I was always trying to prove myself. And that's what we do to each other. We're always trying to make everybody believe they're not good enough. You're just not good enough. When am I going to be good enough? Well, I don't really care. I don't care. I am good enough. I'm good enough for me. And I'm getting every chokehold out of here because I can't count on the majority of the population to think straight.
And when your foot goes numb, like you said, it's gone numb, that means that you've got a permanent now deficit in that foot. Because
Okay, when your foot goes numb, her foot went numb, and she had drop foot, right? And what he's saying is, once your foot goes numb, you have a permanent deficit in your foot. Did you hear what he said? He said permanent. And I will put my reputation on that it's never permanent. And the reality is, if we were to go and work on the area of stenosis, right? And we worked on the SI joint right here. If it was on this side, if it was on the left side, we work on this area, we work on the SI joint. We go into the hip and we open that up. We open up the knee. We open up the ankle. I win again. I win again. Why is it in the medical system, everything is such a mystery? Oh my God, guess what? They can't figure it out, so why would we ever figure it out? Why would you? You're just the majority. You're just part of the herd, and you're too stupid to understand this. And my God, if us medical doctors can't figure this out, then guess what? Nobody can. So you're going to get to suffer. Then when they decide that you need surgery, they're going to hang you out to dry for about 1 year to 2 years. Am I wrong? And then it'll take you 1 to 2 years to get there. Do you know what that pain and suffering does to the psychological health and the balance of your life? Do you know what that makes you into? A miserable person. You feel like a victim. Okay? You haven't got enough energy to love yourself. Less love someone else. Less think straight. Okay? The pain just veggies you right out, and then you're going to take their drugs. And when has a drug ever healed the body? Absolutely never. Okay? So the reality is this. Then you go on this long ride, whether it's 1 year or 10 years, being on painkillers until they decide that they're going to cut out the whole hip, okay, and give you a new hip or put a rod in or a screw or some plates, or they're going to fuse your spine. Which one would you like? Which one would you like? And guess what? People that don't even know that they do not like themselves and they're not getting enough attention in life, which one will they pick? Surgery. Before taking massive personal action and realizing that it's not their fault, but it's their responsibility, and it was their body. And guess what? Living in the present moment and owning it can reverse anything.
the length of time that it's been choked, that portion of the nerve is dead. The cells are dead.
God, for the length of time, okay, so listen to me. If there's a surgeon or a neurologist that would like to come on my show, my phone number is 469-861-8884. You can call it on WhatsApp, or you can call me direct, or you can call my 800 number, 855-900-4544, extension 5. You know what he said? That nerve is dead forever. And do you want to know something? The nerve is not, okay. If I've got a hose, that hose has water going through it. If I put my heel on that hose, can I stop the water flow? Yes. He is crazy. Nerves don't die. Nerves will actually grow back together. Where did he get his information from? And he is stated as being the top spinal surgeon, low back spinal surgeon in New York. Now, am I calling him a fool? No. Am I calling him a tyrant? No. Am I saying he's lying? No. He absolutely believes in what he's doing, and he believes that there is no other choice here.
And that's highly unlikely to come back. If you want to make sure that that doesn't happen to the rest of your symptoms and worse, that's why we recommend surgery to decompress.
Okay, but he's not going to recommend anything else. A surgeon recommends surgery. Am I never going to recommend surgery? That's not true. If I get a client that comes into me, and I can see that they don't have the emotional capability, and I mean that in the nicest way, to be able to take on a different lifestyle and their whole family is against eating properly, spending any money. They just don't want to do that. And also, I'm a quack because I'm called that every day, and I don't care. But guess what? If I see that that person doesn't believe in me, doesn't believe in their own healing, and that person, believe it or not, whether you want to believe this or not, and I'm ready to be attacked on this one. Most people that are opting for surgery are looking for attention from anyone in any place they can because they've never been able to get the love that they needed from their family, from their loved ones, or from the world. And understand something, these are not bad people. These are people that, just like me, just like you, I was there. Thank God I'm not. I thank God every day that I woke up. I thank God every day that I woke up, that loving myself, filling up my own heart, and stop terrorizing my family to do it for me and give me the attention I need, or else I'm going to get sick, or I'm going to need someone else to love me if they won't. And I'm not telling you that people are sick. I'm telling you they have sick beliefs. There's a big difference here because we're running a brain, and the brain's called a computer, and it's called a chemist. And depending what programs are in the brain will depend on what that chemist dumps. Whether it's going to be the hack, histamine, adrenaline, and cortisol, or it's going to dump dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, and now you're on a pleasure ride, and you got to be the one to trigger that with your love for yourself and the smile and the joy of living and focusing on what you love. And if you're doing it through looking at your phone, if you're doing it through other people or external ways to try to get the dopamine to dump, you are going to wear yourself out. It doesn't work that way, okay? Let me tell you something. Love's an ingredient, and that's all it is. It's what you do with it. Self-love's the cure.
The nerves, allow them to have a normal blood supply again by having normal space.
Okay.
And
no, you're going to have normal blood supply as soon as she does the surgery. You'll never have normal blood supply again. Did you hear me? You can't do surgery on L3, L4, L5 and think you're not going to create more inflammation. A surgery causes more inflammation, more scar tissue formation than anything else on the planet. So what she will have is stiffness in here. The mobility will be gone. You've never talked to a person that's ever had surgery anywhere, and they're going to tell you their mobility's back. No, they will tell you that it's number now and there's no pain there, but there is stiffness. And that stiffness will cause a counter imbalance. And if this goes, you could have the hip go, or you could have the knee go, or you could have the ankle go. It's not going to be well.
Into that, because the reason why the nerves in your case are getting squeezed like this is because of something called a spondylolisthesis, where the arthritis has caused the bone to slip. We have to
Spondylolisthesis, where the arthritis has caused the bone to slip. The bone doesn't slip. What happens is we get swelling, which is inflammation, and pushes the bone. What would happen if you get rid of the inflammation, you get rid of the swelling, and what happens if there's inflammation there long enough, you get scar tissue building up, and it becomes like a little fibroid. And what happens if I went in there with my elbow in the Cellsonic and it was gone in 3 to 5 minutes? I just, look at, come, here I am, okay? So come and get the guy that sounds like a charlatan, because this can't be true. There's no such thing as a slip disc. Where is it, in your underwear, or does it slip into your socks? What you've got is you've got inflammation, causes swelling. And if that goes on long enough, you build up scar tissue. And the more scar tissue you build on that side of the spine, it's going to create an imbalance. The disc did not slip. And I can take a slip disc, which they call a slip disc, and I can work on somebody for 5 to 10 minutes and do, in that disc area, maybe just only 200 pulses with the Cellsonic. Oh my God, Daryl, that's a miracle. No, it's not. Your body is a miracle, and you were created by a miracle.
put in screws to bring the bones back into place.
Oh, we're just going to put in screws here to bring the bones back into place. I'll make you a bet. His screws to bring the bones back into place, okay, all right, is going to lay you on your back for weeks or months. My way to put your bones back into place is I'm going to lay you on your tummy for 20 minutes. If it was L3, L4, L5, I got to do around the area, do the SI joints. I'm going to lay you on your tummy for 20 minutes to 40 minutes, and that's it, and you're going to get up. Which one do you want? Which one do you want? Do you want the trauma where people bring you flowers to the hospital, and then where you can take some time off because you don't like your job, okay? And then people will come and say, I feel so bad for you? Or would you like to take massive personal action instead of a reaction and actually take your life back?
And we have to put a little spacer that sits in between there to allow the bones to fuse.
So we're not just going to put screws in because you have a screw loose, but we're going to put spacers in there. Oh, why? Because we're going to need them in here. We're going to need to put spacers in here because goodbye cartilage. Oh, because the cartilage was so thinned out. Oh, really? It didn't thin out. It got dehydrated, my friend. It got dehydrated. All the fiber's still there. Okay. We're going to be moving into our new video space. It's a 35 by 40, beautiful, beautiful video studio. We're going to be bringing you the most beautiful teachings, and I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. I'm going to bring somebody in, I'm going to do a measurement of that person, and then I'm going to do Wolf non-surgical. It'll take me an hour, okay? And I'll do Wolf non-surgical, and I'll come back in an hour. I'll do this in the next few weeks, not right away. And I'm going to show you that I'm going to increase the height of that person by 1 inch to 1.5 inches. Did you hear what I just said? You know when you go, I love this part. You go to the doctor and you go, Doc, I don't know why, but you know, I used to be 5'8", now I'm only 5'6". Ah, you're losing bone calcium. Why does anybody question that? Where would he be losing? What, did the leg get shorter? Oh, wait a minute. No. The skull shrunk, right? The skull shrunk? Is that what happened? The skull shrunk? Or no, maybe he lost a couple of ribs and maybe got shorter that way. I don't know. Or maybe he lost like a vertebrae and a couple cartilages on either side. Discs. What do you think? Nobody ever questions it, eh? You know, but I'll tell you something. People question me all the time, and I say that. You question me. There is no authority over you. If you don't understand something, you need to question me. I'm going to take for granted that you might know something, and I'm never going to give you any big words. I'm not going to call it arthritis. I'm going to call it inflammation of the joint. Geez, we can get rid of that. I'm not going to call it fibromyalgia. That just means pain in the muscle fibers, okay? I'm going to call it chronic fatigue. I'm going to tell you that you need to cleanse your liver and your colon. That's all you had to do, okay? I'm not going to call it colitis. I'm going to call it inflammation of the colon. I'm not going to call it sinusitis. Sinusitis. I'm going to call it inflammation of the sinuses. That's all. I'm not going to call it gum disease. It's actually bum disease because it's just the hot gases and the bacterial problem that rises up into your mouth. That's really what gum disease is. Ask your dentist. He won't even know that because he's not trained to tell you that, right? Somebody hasn't been trained properly. They're not going to tell you that. They wouldn't know that. What, you think these guys aren't orchestrated? I mean, come on, a dentist is not a doctor, okay? But then guess what? But either is a surgeon. They're a surgeon. They're not a doctor. So don't tell me you went to see your doctor. A doctor's going to teach you. He's going to train you. He's going to take the power that he has on you and give it back to you so that you can become the power that you need, because you need to be the person that's in the present moment and own it and know what to do in any type of a message you get from your body, which they call symptoms, and then they call it diseases, and then they call it critical illness, and it's all just messages until your body's screaming at you.
Together. That's the solution.
Doing that, will this go away?
The numbness? No, that's permanent.
So even after...
You got that? I hope you got that. Did you hear what he did? Will the numbness go away? No, the numbness is permanent. Did you see how he emphasized that? Now, he doesn't even know he's doing it, but he's done this so often. Just like, you notice me, I've kind of got my pitch down. So, you know, you just got to decide who you want brainwashing you. Do you want him brainwashing you, or me brainwashing you, or maybe none of us? Maybe you need someone else to brainwash you. You're going to pick who you want to be brainwashed, because somebody has to brainwash you, and brainwashing you means giving you different beliefs. Brainwashing doesn't mean that you're going to be me or you're going to join me. No, nobody's allowed to join me. People only can come to me if they want to be their own leader. They cannot follow me. They cannot do that. That is the wrong thing to do. You never look up to me. You look at me and you demand that I give you truth, and you demand that I hold the line and help you the best that I can in you becoming your own practitioner. And that's the God's truth. Yes, he's trying, Jana, he's trying to sell her on surgery, but guess what? That's the best thing that he has to offer, and he means well. He doesn't want her suffering. I don't want to ever make the surgeon a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. Okay? If anything, I'm going to come out of here looking like a bad guy, and that's okay. But the surgeon is not a bad guy. He is giving people what they want. He's giving them relief. If you don't want to do any research, if you don't want to find out how you got there, even the surgeon never ever did any research on how this actually happened. Did you know that? He was told what to think. There is no school, there's no body. There's no board, there's no association that will tell me what to do. And if they're able to tell me what to do and able to control me, then I will have to buckle under, and that won't happen. Let me tell you something. I had the government come after me, and one of the biggest TV shows come after me to say, good, thank you, to say this, that I murdered 3 people, and I bring this up so casually, okay, and guess what? That's right, my work murdered 3 people. There you go. And that I steal people's money. You have to understand something. I ran what was called the Extapa World Healing and Training Center. We'd have 100 to 200 people there. People would actually come that I hardly even saw, that they just came because they wanted the community. I can't help it if they were drug addicts, alcoholics, and this is God's truth. Or if they came and they had a heart attack and they died. Or how about this other lady, and she was in her late 80s. Understand something, they were seeking refuge. And this was during the time of COVID. And understand something, I was attacked by a big TV station that actually spent over $200,000 of taxpayers' money. And guess what? 67% of their funding comes from the government. And it's only the 3rd time they came after me. So I'm trying to tell you that I've already decided I'll be the bad guy. That's okay. But you know what? You can't do anything to me unless I did it. But you can definitely try to get the whole world to think differently about me, and that's okay, because guess what? We will never open up a healing center like that again. Our Extapa Zihuatanego healing retreat here, where we do personal treatment and trainings, advanced water fastings, juice fastings. I mean, we pull off miracles, and guess what? That pisses people off. We can't do cures because that's up to the person to create a perfect day and repeat it, but we pull miracles off. Okay, and I did not say I am a savior. That's not what I am. Okay, we have strategies and techniques that restore the tissue, restore the circulation, and restore the electrical current in the body. That's what we do. We give a money-back guarantee on our first treatment, on our consultations, on our courses, on our master classes. Nobody else does that. And this is what makes them so hard to come and get me and to pull me down. And understand, what do you think would happen if you actually, what you should try to do someday, is go read my pdgfree.com. Go there. It's my perfect day guide. It's 550 pages. You can download it for free. I guarantee once you read it, you'll want to buy it. It's $75, and it's our cost to get it to you. The shipping's included. Let me tell you something. I'm a force to be reckoned with, because I will only tell you the truth, and I want you to stop coming to me. I want you to stop going everywhere else, and I want you to live the life that you were promised. And I know that this sounds like a pitch, but I swear to God, don't spend a penny with me, but go through my library, go through my perfect day guide, and then tell me I'm up to something. Yes, I am. And, you know, people will say I'm dangerous. Well, yes, I am dangerous, because I'm going to test every belief out there. And if it's not deserving of you, then I am going to stand up for you until you can stand up for yourself. And that's the God's truth. I don't know anything better to do.
Understood that.
Yeah.
But I was asking if I had the procedure done, will that,
Probably not.
okay?
The parts that'll go, that have a chance to get better, and that probably will get better, are the parts that are not permanent, which are the pain in your back.
That's not even true. It's not even true. He's trying to say that the parts that aren't in trouble there'll be no permanent damage. You can actually, when you get surgery, you get more scar tissue, more calcification, crystallization. You got to have a really good surgeon, and that could be true. But you better have a really good surgeon. And he better not have had a late night or a fight with his wife or her husband.
In the butt, running down the leg. But
Okay.
numbness that is there all the time, that's an indicator of a permanent problem.
Okay, the numbness that's there all the time, it's permanent. And understand something, everyone. We got rid of it for this beautiful lady very quickly. Very quick.
And that, once it happens in one place, it's a matter of time before it starts happening in other places.
But
And
he's right, because inflammation will spread throughout the body. Let me give you one example, and then I know you're going to go, okay, up until this point, I thought you were okay, but now I know you're a quack. Understand something, I don't believe that cancer spreads. Inflammation spreads, thank you very much. The only person that ever got the Nobel Prize was Dr. Otto Warburg for the discovery of cancer, and guess what? He got it because 35% deficit in oxygen in the cells for more than 3 days. Did you get that? And guess what? Inflammation eats up oxygen just like a firewood in the house. I don't believe that cancer cells spread. I believe inflammation does, infection does. And that's my belief. And I'm telling you, I have been at this for over 40 I've been at this for over 40 years. I'm not telling you that I'm a genius. I'm not telling you I'm smart. I'm just telling you that I like to stay in the logical point of view, okay? And the reality is, whether you know this or not, I used to own what was called the Wolf Clinic. It was in the top 100,000 of all websites in the world 20 years ago. And my natural cancer protocols were in the top on Cancer Tutor for years. Until one day, I closed down Wolf Clinic and walked away because I did not want to be known as the cancer doctor. And I still don't. I want to be known as the person that teaches people unconditional love and care for themselves. That's what I want to be known as. Okay? I want to help people that want to help themselves before they take themselves to the cliff. Okay? And then they're desperately wanting to save themselves after they've been emotionally, okay, attacking themselves and not knowing it, to the point that they've created a dis-ease, out of harmony so bad, not listening to their body about the love messages until the point that they are critical. You rotted your body out. Thinking, rotted your body out.
you know, that's why we recommend surgery in the first place, is to prevent in the worst.
Second place. And the reality is, I will never try to talk somebody out of surgery. And if you came to me and you said, Daryl, I'm going to have surgery in 2 weeks. I'm going to have surgery in 1 week. I'm going to go, just give me 1 hour. And I'm not going to try to talk you out of anything. But I do need to let you know that after you have this surgery, you need Wolf Non-Surgical and Cellsonic. So you're either going to have it now, and we may not go to surgery, or guess what? You can go to surgery, but anybody that goes to surgery, just know this, you're crippled for the rest of your life, because surgery causes more calcification and scar tissue formation than anything else on the planet, and that's even the medical system saying that. Why don't you talk to a whole bunch of people who had surgery? Ask them how numb they feel, how stiff they feel, how they don't play sports anymore. They feel like they're going to tear out. Well, that's what beef jerky will do.
Case scenario, let's say you had surgery done and nothing got better.
Nothing got better.
In the worst case scenario, it stops the problem from getting worse.
So, in the worst case scenario, if nothing gets better, it's going to stop it from getting worse. That's not even true. Where's my guarantee on that? But understand something. I can't say anything unless it's real, or I'll be taken down so fast it'll make my head spin. I can be a medical doctor and say anything I want because I'm protected by the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, JP Morgan, and all these other people that own Big Pharma, and the corporations that sell the plates, the screws, the rods, the mesh. Okay?
The high majority of people are going to notice significant improvement in a lot of their symptoms.
In my situation, there would be significant improvement.
I would expect that to be the case. Can't guarantee
And
it.
would that,
I expect it to be the case, but I can't guarantee it. Now, I'm not going to guarantee you anything because what you decide to do when you go home, because, you know, don't get me wrong, right? I do consultations on people and what they decide to do, but I give them, anybody does a consult with me or with my practitioner, you do a consult with my practitioner, $150. And that's lifetime support. And you get the PD, our Perfect Day Guide. That's lifetime support, call in. If you do it with me, it's $400. And then you get lifetime support from me. My price has to be higher because people really want to come to me and be real serious about it. Okay? And then I got to be there for them, and I will be there for them, and I am there for them. But I'd rather they go to my consultants for $150. $150 for lifetime support, an hour consult, will send you the audio.
be the minimal surgery where you go in with the incision, or you have to break me open?
It's a minimally invasive procedure. We make a few little openings about the size of my.
Okay, so minimal invasive, and he's going to have a few openings the size of his finger, the end of his finger, so about that big. You call that minimal?
Nail and do all
it's the
screws
same day?
and the clean out. No, you have to spend the night. You go home
The one
next
night?
day. Yeah, for the majority of patients, they go home. About 93% of patients that we do go home within 23 hours. So they spend an overnight and go home the next day.
So doing that won't release whatever it is, and
I mean, it's possible, but
I'm really just starting to hear this, so you know.
Now it's only
yeah, listen,
possible. You see, now she's questioning him, and now it's only possible. Go back and listen to this, guys. He's changing a little bit because most people aren't going to challenge him like she did.
It's very disturbing.
I think when we saw you last time, I think we talked about the fact that
Yeah,
these things.
and yes, and I'm aware of that, and you know how it is when you're just concerned about, God forbid, it being worse and a chance and all that, and I was doing everything possibly,
Listen, I always tell
all the
everybody, they only have
acupuncture and
surgery.
acupressure and the physical therapy and the
Those things
aquatherapy.
are really good.
It's
with your
all
problems.
temporary.
Okay, guess what? Okay, so I'm going to tell you how much there's left. We've only done 3 minutes and 38 seconds. The next 3 minutes and 44 seconds, they go to town on each other. You don't need to hear this, okay? He starts questioning him, challenging him, saying you said this, but now you're backtracking, and we don't need to hear that, okay? That part, and I'm just saying, I could have just left that out and say that's the end. But the reality is, we're not going to go any further because, wow. She gets standing in her power, let me tell you. Okay? All right. So I want everybody to understand something. Thank God for surgeons. Thank God for painkillers. And I'm going to tell you why. If painkillers were never, ever here, then not thank God for them. Surgery, we need. There can be accidents, okay, and things like that. But I did tell you that 95 to 98% of all surgeries were created through an inflammatory diet, an inflammatory toxic lifestyle, or treatment. And I am not putting anybody down, but we all know that drugs have side effects. I mean, they tell you they have to. They don't want the lawsuit. I don't have to tell you any side effects from any of my products because it's all natural. And I'm not telling you I'm better than them. They are in a different field. And guess what? My daughter got ran over by a car. She wouldn't be alive today if it wasn't for surgery. I'm not telling you don't do surgery. And you can go do surgery and you can come to me and we can work hand in hand. But if you tell the surgeon, he'll tell you, well, I'm just a quack. But I'm going to tell you that if you want surgery, it's your body. I'm going to tell you if you want drugs, it's your body. I'm going to tell you that if I give you a plan and you don't want to do it, it's your body, it's your life. And if you don't want to do it, I'm not going to create fear and say, if you get the surgery, you're going to get this, this, and this. I will never sit down and tell people what's going to happen after the surgery. No, I'm not going to. But on a general, not on a person-to-person basis, I can tell you that it's very rare that somebody goes, oh my God, that was just 100% win for me. You better be young enough to heal from it, the surgery. And you better eat good enough. And you better love yourself strong enough to do this. Okay? And that's the reality. I already told you, surgery causes more inflammation, more scar tissue formation. And wherever you have the surgery, you grow these feeders, we call, especially when it comes to cesareans. Women don't know it, but they have these 2 to 3 inch feeders, and they will wrap around your spine. And they will wrap around L3, L4, L5. And sometimes I've had to do non-surgical. I'll have to push deep enough to actually work on their spine to loosen up that adhesion that's wrapped around their spine, or wrapped around their pubic bone, or wrapped down under their pubic bone right into the vaginal canal. This is all true. Because the more inflamed you are, the more scar tissue you have. The more inflamed you are, the more dehydrated things are. So that's why when you go to play sports or you want to go dance, you don't have that extension or flexion, because your tendons and ligaments are not elastic anymore. And your muscles are atrophying. It's just like when people say to me, Dr. Wolf, I'm losing weight. No, you're not. You're losing muscle. And you can get it all back. But the reality is, anybody that's over 40 and doesn't do 20 minutes of stretching a day and 20 minutes of exercise using their body weight. Okay, when I move into my new place here in Ixtapa-Zihuatanejo, I'll have a gym. I'll have a whole energy medicine center right in my home. And I'll have that 30 by 40 foot video studio. You better be ready. I'm bringing down the thunder. I have a whole kitchen in my studio to start bringing people in to show you how to make food, and really healthy food. I mean, I am ready to just unleash and just give you everything I got. Because guess what? I love you. You don't have to love me. I love you. I love my life. And I am not angry. I am not spiteful. I am not hateful against anything. The medical system's not broke. They're doing exactly what they were built for. The government, and so is everything else. And so you go ahead and try to fix up things that aren't broken, and you find out how that works. And you're not broken either. You're just not in love with yourself or care enough to do enough research, and you don't believe in yourself enough. That was stolen from you. And wouldn't it suck if you actually believed that you were a loser or a sinner or a failure? Because that's a chokehold. Wouldn't it be great if you believed that that which created the universe has always loved you beyond love and never judged you? And that all of a sudden you woke up one day knowing that you could have unlimited healing, unlimited everything in your life if you just focused on only what you wanted, and you never talked about how much pain you're in every day, how stiff you are every day because you just get more of it, or how nobody loves you, nobody treats you right, life is so hard, I can barely pay my bills. Well, you're going to get that. You're going to barely be paying your bills. So believe it or not, this was caused because of what she thought and what she talked about. Come on, buddy. Yeah, he's absolutely right. Okay? Understand something. What you speak and what you think. And then it's what you drink and what you eat and what you do. And understand, stop thinking your way through and start feeling your way through with your heart. I'm going to answer some questions now. Let me see, it's 2:30 and I have to be there at 3:30. So why do I have to leave by 3 o'clock? Because we are moving into our new studio. Hey, Carla? Whoa, oh, it's a beauty. You guys, we are going to unleash the training. You are going to get, okay, so much from me and so I hope you're blessed by me. I want to bless you. I'm really excited about this. You know, it's like, you know, I'm not 67. I'm in between 6 and 7. That's how excited I am, because now I get to go and play in my sandbox and make all my friends feel better, hopefully. Okay? All right, let me see what we got here. Carla, can you come and move this thing? Eventually, when we get set up, things will be easier, right, Carla? Yeah. No, I need it into the questions. Okay. If you can read this, this is all the personal treatment and trainings we do at the Ixtapa Zihuatanejo 5-star retreat and healing. Okay. You guys might want to check that out at dod5star.com. For your money, we'll bring the thunder down, and you'll have the best holiday. You know what people say when they come to us? What a healing, what a holiday. What a healing, what a holiday. Okay? I am going to put the red carpet out for you. All right? Okay, let's, because everybody should be blessed. Everybody should be cherished. Okay, I'm just going to go back here. Rectal cancer, yes. It's growing rapidly because people are rotting out. Just so you know, everybody, even the medical doctors don't know. They won't talk about the large intestine much. And as far as they're concerned, it's a garbage can. No, it's a compost. Yes, it's creating 85% of your immune system. Yes, it's blowing up in people. It's either hanging down and, out and down, which means the transverse colon is actually fallen this far down and it's hanging down here like a dead snake. Yeah, that's right. So if you're like hanging down over your belt, guys, if you're hanging down over your belt, that's your intestine falling down and out. It's laying in there in a coma. Okay, if you're like sticking out your belly, that means that you've got your own, well, you've got a manure pile with the one hanging down and out, because it's like an alcoholic. They're in a coma after drinking so much alcohol. Well, there's so much poison in you that the hostras and the muscle tone in your large intestines are gone. And you ever see people that are obese? I hope you know, put your fingers together like this, guys, second finger and thumb. That's how big your bowel movement should be, okay? And your colon should be about that size too when it comes out. Get it? Got it? Okay, so somebody who actually is obese, their colon is this big. It's stretched out. There's no muscle tone left. Okay. How would you supplement? Where is the Black Diamond and the Daily Cleansing Tea for these purposes? Well, Black Diamond should go in all your drinking water, and you can put in anywhere from 1/8 to 1/16 to 1/8 of a teaspoon. That's all you need. And if you did that 3 times a day in 3 liters of water for most people, and make sure it's structured water. Oh, guys, just so you know, I'm going to be doing a show for my practitioners on Monday night. I'm going to be releasing one of the biggest breakthroughs in water, light, energy, color energy, and frequencies, and hydrogen. There's nothing been discovered bigger than this. And that'll be Monday night for my practitioners. And then on Tuesday at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I will be unleashing that. And anybody can afford this and get ready. Because between the structure water unit and this hydrogen frequency light generator for your water, which is portable, by the way, you get those 2 things and you'll have the best drinking water in the world. Nobody will match it. And nobody will match the price either. And I mean that. Okay? All right. So where is the Black Diamond? Well, the Black Diamond goes into, you can put it into everything you drink. When somebody's highly toxic or in a critical condition, they would put a pinch of Black Diamond in everything they drink. Absolutely. Because Black Diamond is non-toxic. Our Black Diamond is the only humic fulvic that has never ever been used in chemical processing. And it will hold 300 to 400 times its weight in parasites, heavy metals, toxicity, acidity, and chemicals. And it will drop off 60 to 70 micronutrients into the cells. And Black Diamond works on the blood, works in the cells, and works in the brain. Where Black Gold does from your mouth to your rectum, and it also creates mother's good bacteria better than anything else. And what you do with the Black Gold is let's say if you drink coffee, you want to put a teaspoon on your coffee grounds for the drip through. Let's say that you don't do that, then you want to have anywhere from a teaspoon to a level tablespoon, depending on the condition, of black gold in a blender drink, you could, with berries or fruit or oat milk or almond milk or coconut milk, just make it as clean as possible. You got to throw in a raw egg there too if you want it thick like a milkshake and give yourself a little bit more body to it. Okay, that's what you would do with that. Okay, and the daily cleansing tea and the daily cleansing tea caps. Understand something right now. My daily cleansing tea has no stimulants. Where is it? Right here. My daily cleansing tea has no stimulants, no laxatives, and it works on all the detox organs from what? The kidneys to the lymph system, to the lungs, to the liver, okay, to the skin, and then the large intestine. There's only 5 different herbs. People always say, you know, we produced this when I was 28 years old with a homeopathic herbalist. Okay, and the reality is at that time he was in his 80s. I think he was 82. He's no longer with us, of course, and but nobody's been able to duplicate this. And this is all about frequency, and it's all about energy, and there's no laxative in it. And I'm going to tell you something right now. If you were to take daily cleansing tea twice a day, it tastes like iced tea. You can mix it with anything, soup. You can mix it, and pets can take it, children can take it. Grandma can take it. And the reality is if you were to do daily cleansing tea, black gold, okay, and black diamond, and if you're traveling, you want to do my daily cleansing tea caps, okay? And my daily cleansing tea caps have no stimulants and no laxatives in them, and they're beautiful. Okay, so when Lori and I travel, which is quite a bit, okay, so what I like to do is I like to take my tea at night before I travel. I'll take a bigger dose. In the morning, I'm going to just clean out, because when you fly or when you travel in the car for a distance, you're going to actually get sluggish. So what we'll do is we'll take the daily cleansing tea and we'll lighten the load in the morning. And then what I'll do, okay, is I'll actually take a tea cap when I go to fly. So when I get on the flight, and then I'll also, if I fly, I'm always doing at least 3 liters to 3 quarts of water on the flight. Oh yeah, I'm not kidding. And it will have Ormus minerals in it. It will have black diamond in it. It will be structured, and it will be energy charged by this frequency light hydrogen generator I'm going to be talking about at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday. Now, when I take that daily cleansing tea cap, I can be reassured that if I don't have a bowel movement that night, which I usually do before bed, I'm waking up the next morning. Doesn't matter if I just, or the next day, if I fly around the world, which I do a lot, that I'm not going to be jammed up jelly tight. Doesn't it feel great when you fly and you feel like somebody shoved a cork up there and you just can't get it out? Well, let me tell you something. People live like that, and they just get used to that. And you know what? The majority of natural health practitioners, what do they say? Well, every 3 months or every 6 months or whatever their training is, every 9 months, we'll do a deep cleanse on you. Really? That is not smart. Why don't you do the perfect day and do gentle baby loving steps every day and never get sick? How about never feel like you're full of you know what? Okay, all right? Oh, how about no low back pain? How about not getting fat? Okay, putting fat on, because infection creates inflammation, and that creates fat cells. Got to store it somewhere. And that's why, you know what, if you don't want to get rid of and do the daily cleansing tea and the black gold, and if you travel, the daily cleansing tea caps, then guess what? Then you can have the tire here, or you can have the love handles here, because you're just making this stuff because you're toxic. That's it. Thank you. You're toxic. So you're infected, inflammation, fat accumulation. That's it. And guess what? You've got fat. And then you've got cellulite, which is a lot more toxic than fat. And then you've got scar tissue that's more toxic than the actual, we're talking about increased heavy metals, lots of toxins, a lot more inflammation, infection stored in there. And so from fat to cellulite to scar tissue, and then a tumor is it is a jam-packed, jelly tight of, you'd be dead already if you didn't have it. You couldn't have lived through it. That was actually your friend. So yeah, you go ahead and cut out the tumor, especially if it's blocking off your bowels. I get it. But, you know, or it's in your brain. But, you know, you could have shrank it. How do you shrink it? Change your beliefs. Change how you care for yourself, how you love for yourself, what you eat, what you think, what you drink, who you hang around with, what your habits are. And that's the God's truth. Okay? But most people aren't going to be able to do this. I already told you that only 5% of the population will ever come on and stay on my platform. And that's it. They're just ready. They're ready. They're just going, you know what? What the majority does, I get it. I get it. It's dangerous. They don't even see the results. They all get the same results, and guess what? And then they believe that BS, that this is as good as it gets. Holy crap, this is as good as it gets. Really? And then we talk about how we were created by God and we're creators, and really? We're creators? No, we're decimators. Thank you. Okay, Marilyn, 2.5 years ago I had my appendix removed. Well, now you've got scar tissue there. So now guess what? The ileocecal valve, where the actual foodstuffs that go through the small intestine to come into your cecum, they're not going to be traveling and they're good. And the valve won't close properly after you have an appendix surgery because of the scar tissue, unless you have Wolf non-surgical. A little bit of Celsonic wouldn't hurt. Okay? And the reality is, I'm being very serious here. You're going to feel the difference in a few minutes. It's not like, well, you know, like a lot of the other body workers and therapies out there, you need to come to me twice a week and, you know, we'll keep on working on it. And really, I don't think so. Unless you get rid of the scar tissue, then you're not doing anything. Okay? All you're doing is pain management. Well, I'm not into pain management. I'm going to master the pain until it's not there at all and teach you how to do it. So we got to go in with our elbow, do Wolf non-surgical, and pull that scar tissue apart where the appendix operation was. And then you'll have freedom of movement. But just remember that appendix, it made lymphocytes, phagocytes, it made good bacteria. It was so crucial. But what did they say? You don't need it. You don't need your tonsils either. Oh, you don't need your gallbladder either. And people, basically, it's like a diabetic getting insulin. They can eat anything they want. Once you get your gallbladder out, you can eat all the fatty foods you want, but now you've increased your chance of bowel cancer by 400%. Lucky you. And understand, people only get their gallbladders out, and it's not because of a bad diet. It's because of anger. Anger is stored in the liver, and the liver can't hold it. It puts it in the gallbladder. And then welcome to cholesterol. All the high cholesterol is because you're acidic. Cholesterol is a hormone. It's the most important hormone in the body. Thank you very much. And it's only made a lot because you're so acidic. You should have just got rid of your inflammation, acidic diet. And the calcium and the cholesterol makes up the gallstones. And the calcium actually was pulled by the ribs and by some of the other bones in the area to try to buffer down the inflammation that was in your liver. Thank you very much, Daryl, for explaining that. And that's the God's truth. And whether it's gallstones, kidney stones, or calcium stones, deposits, they say, in the breast, it's all a precancer situation. And I don't call it cancer. It's just you're headed towards stage 4 inflammation. Okay, let's keep going. It was healthy and they took it away. It's all in the records. Erg. That's what she said. Erg. Then after surgery, another doctor put me on ertapenem and killed my healthy gut bacteria. They did. And it'll take 1 year to 2 years to come back unless you do things like daily cleansing tea and black gold and curcumin cayenne 5000. I'm telling you, it'll come back faster. You have to front end load though. Both medical systems are now closing in my area. Gee, I wonder why. Lawsuits. I don't know about that. But, foreign objects, screws, etc. aren't rejected by the human body. Yes, it does. The body rejects what shouldn't be there. Yeah, everything is rejected. Did you ever get a sliver? When you got the sliver, it got inflamed, it got irritated, and it got swollen, didn't it? Guess what? This is more than a sliver. This is internal. People, you know what? Let me tell you. If you ever have an inguinal hernia, your doctor says get mesh, tell them to bugger off. You know what? The mesh costs $20. Costs $2,000 to $3,000 to put in. And if they were to use cat or pig suture, which is intestine, it'll dissolve and you will heal beautifully. Okay? So now when they use the mesh, it's usually about this big. Now you've got a foreign object in there, and I'll tell you what's going to happen. You're going to tear out again right at the edge of the mesh, or you're going to grow stuff that you don't want. You can't have all that plastic in you. You know what? Do you not get this? You know that, I'm going to tell you something. In Canada, you can't get it unless you go to the Schuldeis Clinic in Toronto. They've all just shut it down. No sutures here, baby. Okay? All right? So, you know, when people go, oh, is he angry? No, I'm not angry. I'm just really, really feeling for all the people that are in so much pain. And then when they find out what they've done and then they can't get the mesh out. There's a doctor in Australia that takes, all he does is take the mesh out. But he's the only one that I've ever heard that he does it right, because it's like when you put you know, those steel bars in the cement, right? What do they call that? Row bar? When you put the row bar in the cement so that when you're building a building, when the cement dries, that's the same thing with the mesh. All the scar tissue comes around it. And if you don't have like a brilliant surgeon, then he's just going to leave you a mess. So this guy goes in and takes it out. But then you got to heal. And then if you're going to heal, the only way you can stay healed, I'm telling you right now, a whole plant-based keto diet is the best diet in the world. And I will come up against anybody that's a vegetarian, meat eater, macrobiotic, and they won't be able to stand up against this. They can't even touch this, because it's all about vibration, it's all about light, it's all about frequency, and it's all about amino acids. I get it. It's not about protein. Okay? Yes, it does. Rejects. The body is amazing. You just have to listen to it. Okay? What heals neuropathy? Well, first of all, you know what neuropathy is. Calcification and scar tissue formation. It happens mainly in the lower part of the leg. And I'll tell you right now, the fastest way is Wolf Non-Surgical and a cardio med bed. Go take a look at Cardio Med Bed and Cellsonic at bhnpowerpack.com. And guess what? Those are the two most powerful energy medicine devices in the world. Cardio Med Bed will give you back perfect circulation. Hear what I said? The Cellsonic will give you the highest electrical vibration right down to the mitochondria, decalcifying your mitochondria in one pulse. Yeah. Now you know why they came after me. Okay. Neuropathy, Wolf Non-Surgical, and also clapping. You know what? If you want to come on, whoever you are, if you want to come on and do a live show, I will go through the diet, I'll go through the exercise, and I will gift you. You know how many people have neuropathy out there? And neuropathy can be anywhere in the body, but it's usually in the lower leg. Just so you know that, okay? And it is a deep, painful thing that never goes away, because you've got too much scar tissue, too much calcification, and that means you've got blockages throughout the leg, and now you're stopping spirit energy. Now people are going, BS on that. Wait, really? Why don't you go out there and try to call in here, and I'll stand on the other side of this thick cement wall, and then if I walk in front of the window, I'll get you. If I stand on this side of the thick wall, I won't get your transmission. It's all frequency, baby. And let me tell you something right now. That calcification, scar tissue formation is slowing your spirit energy, slowing your blood, slowing your lymph. And when that energy comes up against a block, okay, just like a wave hitting the wall, there's pressure. And you're feeling this deep pain pressure, because it's the life force trying to get through. And we can do it. Hello, I'm ready if you want me live. Well, I can't bring you on right away, and I apologize, but your name is in, I think it's Greek. So if you want to call me at 469-861-8884 when the show's over on WhatsApp, I promise you I'll book you. As soon as I end the show, you call my phone, because then I got to get out of here, and I got to get Carla to book you, okay? Yeah, I've downloaded your book. You download, can you put up the PDG guide so they can see, please? No, can Rafa put it up? Put the Perfect Day guide up behind me. Can you do that or no? Or that's, no, can you change it, love? And then let me take a look at the next question. Heavy puffy legs throughout life, 30 to 60 years. Yeah, well, guess what? You ready for this? Go ahead, you can change it, love. Valerie, I'm going to tell, no, it's not Valerie, it's Mary. Mary, that could change in 3 months. 6 weeks to 3 months, it's over. If you want to give me a call, I gave the number, 469-861-8884. Come on, Skinny, get down. You want to take him? Want to take him for a walk? He looks a little stiff. Okay. Yeah, there's how to order. And 469-861-8884 if you're calling from around the world. Hey, if you're calling from the United States, that's a USA direct number, even though I'm in Mexico. It won't cost you a thing. If you want to call on WhatsApp around the world, you can. Or if you want to call my dial pad, you don't pay either. 855-900-4544, extension 5. There you go. Come and get me, guys. Come on. You know what? Don't be scared to talk to me. Doctor my butt, will you? I'm Daryl. You can call me doctor. You can call me whatever you want. Okay, but understand something. Just talk to me. Heavy puffy legs. Well, heavy puffy legs is water retention. And if you didn't retain the water, you'd be in big trouble. You'd have more scar tissue, more calcification, more inflammation. Okay, you could even have a mutation, right? Because that's what it is, infection to inflammation to mutation. The water's trying to dilute the poisons in you, and you're holding on to your water because you don't drink enough either. Your body thinks it lives in a desert. I'm telling you, all this stuff is so easy. Your problem is so easy to turn around. Okay, and I meant that. 30, from 30 years old to 60-year-olds, she's been living with this. My God, you know what? And I'm telling you, I know you probably went to a lot of health practitioners, but let me tell you something. You health practitioners out there, most of you are playing inky-dinky schnitzel house. You don't know how to front-end load nutraceuticals. You don't know how to do a detox without them going into a healing crisis. And that's the God's truth. You might do a coffee enema, but you don't know an ultimate one. You might be doing water fasting, which will blow people's heads off today, but you don't know how to do advanced. You don't know how to do vaginal infusions for women or do clapping so that they can break the blocks themselves in their body or what to do with different symptoms. Guys, download the book. Download the PDG free. Rafa, can you show it? Thank you, my friend. Okay. Where's the video of the dog that was getting Biotron Light? I can find it in the library. Well, it's under the pet guide. It's in the pet guide, okay? If everybody goes to my library, you'll find the biggest library in self-care and self-love, and it will give you all the truth about everything that you need to know in this world. Go take a look at I Want to Rock Your World by Mr. Rockefeller. No, why don't you? Why don't you go take a look at it? Why don't you go look at Medical Mafia and see the truth about history from 1900 till now and how you've all been played? Okay? What about the Avicin for neuropathy? It's fantastic. All right? But the neuropathy, well, Avicin increases the circulation by 66%, the microcirculation, and yours is gone. And I would buy an Avicin. Oh, just so you know, everyone, you might want to hold on to your horses. So we're going to do this for the first time. And it's going to happen in just about a week or two. We are going to be selling Avicin. We've always been selling Avicin. But we're going to give everybody $1,000 credit. It's a big deal for us. We're giving you $1,000 credit for DOCA Detox products. When you buy the Avicin, you purchase $1,000 credit right there. You've got to do it right there because we can't deal with you just doing it later. You don't get $1,000 off the Avicin, but you get $1,000 of DOCA Detox products. Nobody's ever done that for you. And I'm doing it for you. And go read up on Avicin. You'll see it at store.docadetox.com. Repeat your phone number, 469-861-8884, WhatsApp, FaceTime, or you can call it USA Direct from anywhere in the US because it's a Texas phone number because that's where is my second home, guys. Now, next thing, if you don't want to call that, call 855-900-4544, extension 5. Just like the DOD 5-star, just like DOD 5star.com, just remember that. And then remember extension 5. Okay, so if you forget the 800 number, just do extension 5. You're always going to get me. And I will call you back. And I will keep calling you back. We'll get each other. Trust me. Be patient, and I'll be patient with you, and know that you're not a bother. You know what? I tell people, listen, if you called in today and you left a message and it's tomorrow, you bloody well call me today. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. You're never going to have me go, did you call here 3 times? You know, you're not going to get disrespected. You know, they taught about doctors. Don't bother doctors. You're going to get charged if you call them too, by the minute. Well, you're not going to get charged by me, and I'm never going to be upset with you. And there's no stupid questions. Don't you just love it? There's no stupid questions. You matter. Your questions matter. Until you matter, nothing's going to matter in life. And you're going to be creating the wrong matter. Okay? Also, what about the oxalates in plant food everyone talks about? I don't know. What else are you doing? The oxalates in plant food are never going to bother you. Do you want to believe everything that they write? Oh yeah, sure. Plants are killing me. Does it look like I'm dying? I eat 1 meal a day. Do I eat 1 meal a day, Alex? 1 meal a day. And last night, did I not even eat a whole meal? I just ate a little bit of my salad. I got him to eat the rest. How am I doing today? I live a whole plant-based diet. You don't have a problem with those unless you're acidic already. So what else are you doing? I don't have a congested liver or bowel. We know how to get rid of that. Kidneys. We know how to, every detox organ, we know how to turn it around with love and care. You know what? Stop reading and stop eating and start feeding. That's what I would say. And I'm not trying to be a smarty about it. You know, it's just I get this all the time, okay? All the time. Sonia says, that was the best, Inky Dinky Schnitzel House. Well, that's what most health practitioners do. They play Inky Dinky Schnitzel House. And let me tell you something, if you don't as a practitioner, then why aren't you giving a money back guarantee for your treatments? Why aren't you giving a money back guarantee for your courses and trainings? Why aren't you giving a money back guarantee for your consultations? I don't see that happening. That's called Inky Dinky Schnitzel House. Okay? And that's it. I made it to the end. What do you think of that? So I'm going to tell you what. Bone up or break down. That's what you're going to do. Bone up or break down. And understand something. Any place that you need surgery, you've got osteoporosis. And any place you got osteoporosis, if you were to get on a product called Merigen, okay, and do that 3 times a day, and then do IGF-1 300,000, and then do some of the other basic things like get a consultation from us to create a perfect day, you're going to turn this around. You know, we have people that are in their 80s and close to 90s, and they've got their bones are crumbling. And in 9 months to a year, they have the bones of a healthy 30, 40-year-old. And you don't have to believe me, but we got tons of testimonials to prove it. So go to my website and go to my library and go into the calcium ion therapy guide, and then go in and take a look at all the different calcium ion therapy products. That's the only real calcium product in the world. There's not another calcium product that will actually take the calcium and put it back into the bones where it was lost. You hear what I just said? I don't mind being challenged by anybody anywhere because they can't give you science. We can give you hardcore science. And I'm not allowed to sell calcium ion therapy products on store.docofdetox.com because they said if I do, they'll take my website down. But they can't stop us from selling it because it's non-toxic, no symptoms. And guess what? That's how threatening it is. I don't carry anything toxic. I don't carry anything dangerous. But I am dangerous. That's what I'm told. And understand something. Let's see you become dangerous. And guess what? And that dangerous is called unconditional love and care for yourself and everyone else. That's what that danger is. Anyways, I got to get out of here because guess what we're doing? We're moving all of our mats, chairs, bolsters, everything to our new training center because Ixtapa Zihuatanejo has now become the headquarters, the world headquarters, because we've got headquarters all over the world. But this is our main headquarters now, because guess what? Because this isn't a third world country. This is a first world living. And guess what? I feel so safe down here. I will be down here, and you watch how many people follow me down here in this area in the next 2 to 3 years. It won't be hundreds, it'll be thousands. Okay? So guess what? This isn't no third world country. This is first world living. And you know, I really got a good kick out of this one. Dr. Wolf, I really want to come down there, but my friends told me that the cartel murder people. I've never seen anything going on with the cartel. And guess what? What do you think your government is? They're the greatest the American government is the greatest cartel in the whole world. Oh my God, seriously? Are we kidding ourselves? So I'll tell you what, if you promise not to come down here and deal in cocaine, I think you'll be okay. All right? And if you don't try to take over the cartel, I think you'll be just fine. Okay? I'm never leaving, just so you know. This will be my home for the rest of my earthly existence. I will travel. I will still have a place in Texas and in Puerto Rico. But this is beauty here. It's beautiful here, and I'm not leaving. Okay, let me see here what we got. I think we might not have ended it. Well, there's no Mexican cartel to deal with. Somebody said, I'd rather deal with the Mexican cartel than my government. There's no Mexican cartel to deal with, please. They take a story and they blow it up. Why don't you take a look what happens in your own neighborhood around the world, for God's sakes, please? Are you that narrow? Not you. I'm not saying anybody, but people are so narrow, you know? People will say, I'm going down to take a personal treatment and training, or I'm coming down for a pain-free pregnancy training with my husband. I'm coming down for a couples training. I'm coming down for whole life coach or Wolf non-surgical training or the pelvic course. And the family's going, oh my God, please be safe. Please be safe. Yeah, okay. Anyways, I'm going to tell you to please be safe, and you'll never be safe until you have unconditional love and care for yourself. You will never be safe. As long as you want someone filling your heart, as long as you love someone more than you on this plane. I said on this plane, okay? I love that which created the universe because it created me. I'm telling you right now, I will shine for that created me. And I'm not worried about sinner stuff or failure or guilt or judgment. That stuff is just man-made bullshit. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be swearing, but the reality is that's all it is. And I'm not buying for any story. And there are many, oh yeah, but my story is like 10,000 years old. Oh really? Yeah, you might want to shake the mold off of it. Okay? You can't tell me what's true, but I'll tell you what's true. Living in the present moment with a slight smile, connected to your breath, okay, and smiling and going around and making everyone else feel happy and safe. Stop being trauma to yourself. And you know, when I say this, people do not like this. I will never have a disease. You will never hear that I didn't make it for a show unless I couldn't make it because of traffic. But the traffic's not bad here. It's great. It's great, actually. Where I'm shooting right now, my studio is 5 minutes away. Where I am right now, the Ixtapa World Healing Retreat, where we do all the training and where people come to stay. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'll show you a video and pictures of it. I'll take you a walkthrough. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. We've already had 12 signups from people all around the world. And that's only in the last 3 weeks. People want this. They don't want to be treated. They want to be trained. As long as you want to just get treated, you're going to be mistreated. How does it feel to put your life in someone else's hands and then just doing pain management? How does it feel, okay, to not be the master of your emotions? How does it feel? Well, most of you don't even feel. You had to stop feeling. What if you could feel again and not be hurt? You heard what I said. What if you could feel again and not be hurt and only feel love? What if you could get to the point to know that you don't have to suffer for anyone ever again? And then when you don't suffer for them, you'll change the vibration in that room. You'll change everything right down to the cellular level. First, people will look at you and think you're crazy. And then when you don't waste your energy and you don't feed into their suffering, which makes them even suffer more, they will look at you as the hero that they want to become. Thank you, and God bless. And I mean that. God bless. The real God that never ever judged us. The real God that only loved us. And the real God that said, guess what? Whatever you think the most, whatever you speak the most, I will give you more of. You think about that today. Together we're stronger.